Alright, and so we actually begin where the water tastes like wine. And I have my trusty glass of Sauvignon Blanc with me for wine tasting. So excuse the occasional... Anyway, let's look around.
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
They sound like me.
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
I fold.
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand? He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high.
Well, good.
But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
Devil!
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt. However I ask.
I want to make sure I didn't see something wrong.
10, jack, queen, king, ace. All spades.
Well, how's my vision? And have I been drinking? And was I drugged? You have my word.
The man in gray smiles. All right, then. I'll call.
Ah!
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that. Your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie.
Interesting.
All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know. To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy. Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling.
Oh, this music is phenomenal.
The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit, perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie? Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
Alright. Justice. Alright, then let's talk about doors.
You sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy? Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
I don't know what you mean. So I can't click on justice anymore.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliché in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another. Your deepest desires, your greatest wish, heaven, Big Rock Candy Mountain, El Dorado, the Promised Land, that place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine. Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing. It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty.
I'm gonna snap that.
Try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people. Not many who can do that. I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you'll feel pain. Hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told. And death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, it'll be an experience for you. I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
This is not the tune I was expecting. Tutorial.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that very man for the tally of my worth, I won't leave much behind.
Yeah. Fantastic quality. What's aliasing? How many languages you got? Alright.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, I won't be no one else to dig my hole.
So are we roughly Minnesota?
Well, I got no companion except the wind
I don't know the buttons.
and the sea.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway.
Odd.
The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. "Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?"
Well, if they're innocent.
You're about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. "You know these girls?" they demand.
No.
Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. "If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash," sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
Is that a euphemism? Ooh. 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 Oh, controls. Maybe I can use my controller. Let me see here. Okay. Whoops. And yes, the controller works, thank God. How do I whistle? L button. Okay. Cool.
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled. Little eyes blink back at you from inside the bundle.
Hey, bundle.
The shape gives a start.
Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here.
It says in a small voice.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore. But I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
You tell the boy you'll keep his secret. You don't see his father anywhere. You don't see another soul for miles.
Cool.
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting at the edge of a rotting old pier, crooked legs dangling over the water. He watches a pair of seagulls preen and groom each other on a rock just off the shore. Just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great, black, thick globs of spent tobacco out of a huge ceramic pipe. I got another year, I guess.
Year of what?
Another year of this town being here, he replies, letting a grin spread across his face. If the seagulls came, that means enough fish to keep it in place.
Smart.
The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis. A confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise. You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second opinion. You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Just say hi.
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench.
You may. Lovely outside, isn't it?
Her eyes are a beautiful shade of brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat.
She almost hung.
Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris.
Well, she has a story.
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you. At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door. "Looks like we got a visitor." Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough.
Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door.
Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. "I always behave myself."
Do
He
I?
feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead. After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in.
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. "Tea?" he offers, hoisting a teapot.
I'll be a glass half full kind of guy.
A few years.
The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. "5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
That long? Time flies. We traveled together before that. You must have some good stories from the road, huh?
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa,
An excess of
still
tea.
warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes. Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
I'm not gonna share a story? Come on. I wanna know more about them. I'm trying. And we're at Boston.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost. Bright light crests around one corner, a car approaching.
Keep walking.
Unable to afford rescue, you keep walking. The asphalt turns to crooked cobblestones that
Hey.
threaten to wrench your ankle out of place. Was this always a moonless night? The stars multiply, each one looking like a pinprick through which light is exiting the terrestrial world. It's hard finding your way through in pitch darkness. You go by touch and sound, feeling the scale of the streets by the echoing of your footsteps, fingers tracing the rough surface of the buildings. And then, a rumble of noise in the distance. You quiet yourself, suddenly fearful.
Oh dear.
The clear sky tells you it's not thunder, but cannon fire. The city comes alive with fires and shouting. You find yourself trampled by a phalanx of bayonets advancing up the street. When you come to, there's no sign of the commotion, the war that you were just caught in. The comically shrill honk of a Model A running up the road startles you, and you crawl toward the sidewalk. Above, the sky is a sharp, cold, cloudless blue.
Such an opportunist. This does not sound lucrative, but I'm just curious. Damn it. Store? Oh, that is how much money I have. The $50 sign or full dollar sign. Tee. I should have something. I'll have some clam chowder. Bye. Give me a story.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, two wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another.
What's up?
The man with the truck leaps into the street. "Brother!" he shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle. "Brother!" he screams. They embrace in the road. 30 years, hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him. "No, 32!
This narrator is phenomenal.
Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
"Take a photo of us!"
The driver begs you. Starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Cheese.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses. As angry passerby
They can get the
wave
fuck
you out
over
of the
it.
road, each brother presses a coin into your hand. When the traffic disperses, you realize they overpaid you quite a shocking amount.
Well, hooray.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna
Ooh,
keep
what are you?
that stride tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my
The man is the color of mill dust. His smile creases his face like folds in dough. He gestures you inside the dilapidated structure and shouts over the sound of driving wheels.
"You're welcome to sleep here. You don't want to rest by the river. Not in the evening. Insects."
Please don't murder me.
Man shoves the broken door closed behind you. The mill is warm, and the air is heavy with the powder kicked up by your entrance. You realize how easy it would be to drift off on this pile of sacks to the loud but constant sound of the grinding wheels.
Please don't murder me.
Pain sears your spine. Why did you sleep at this ridiculous angle? Your back complains from being draped over the millstone. It's good the mill is totally abandoned. Its works long ago disconnected, or your legs would have been pulverized.
You know,
The man is gone. This is not a place to linger.
well, I had a hunch that my protagonist had some common sense, but okay, you slept at that angle. Whatever.
My vagrant song.
As you walk down the road, a black crow flutters down to land in your path. It looks at you, cocks its head, and speaks. Well, you've got a long, long road ahead, don't you? All these people to chase down, or so I hear. It laughs. I got some experience when it comes to chasing folks. Well, tell me. Well, if you want, you could go find your friend again. Ask him more about their life. They might want better stories this time, though. It peers up at you. Didn't I tell you where they were headed next? Yeah. But hey, the world is full of people. But you could find another friend like that if you went looking around. There's more than one interesting person in this land for sure. It gives a gravelly laugh. That's what humans say, anyway. And with it launches into the air and disappears.
To drag you down.
Ah, this whistling is great. You seem like stories would happen.
Muddling through the dark,
Oh, that
you
deer.
stumble into the path of the white deer. Its beauty strikes you at once. It is something otherworldly, beyond borders. A moon swimming in the void. Human shouts not far away break the spell. The deer's ears prick up. This thing is being hunted.
I had to snap this 2 secs. Almost done. Yo, help it dear.
You know a way out of here. As the hunter's cries get louder, you approach the deer carefully, palms outstretched.
No.
As you grow close, your features become clearer in the light of the deer's aura. It bolts into the path of an oncoming train.
But the train was going 2 miles an hour, right? That's how I'm doing the story. New York. Well, I should do sleeping things for sure.
The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. A broad-shouldered figure leans out over the rail, eyeing the skyscrapers on the horizon. Nearby, a man and a woman speak in low, urgent voices. He takes her wrist gently. She is weeping softly.
Well, okay. I don't want to be invasive, so I'm just gonna eavesdrop.
I wish you didn't have to go.
she says.
There's got to be work on some of those buildings.
Oh. Good.
Going up.
His thumb skates over her pulse point.
I checked every day for a week. There ain't. I'll be back, though. Got your picture in my wallet, don't I? It's not forever.
Well, which picture? Yes, I'm listening.
Her words are split by a sob.
Might as well be. My parents didn't come to New York for this.
She leans against him, the wind tousling her hair. He pulls her to his chest.
I'm leaving because I gotta go. If there was another way...
They stand together, close, quiet, in the stiff breeze.
Can I sleep? I want to sleep. I do want New York pizza, but I'm afraid I can't. Guess I'm done. Really thought there'd be more to do in New York. What are you? A jet black crow alights on the low branch of a twisted tree. Look at you, it caws. Think you got some good stories already? Well, I heard better. Much better. It seems to wink at you. Wanna hear my tricks? Fine. The ones you got now. Pathetic stuff. You tell those stories around and they'll come back more exciting, more satisfying. So always listen to the stories other folks tell. Their tales are less true, sure, but more useful around the campfire. Alright. The boss has a point about the true ones, though, the crow admits. They're extra interesting. You learn a couple folks' true life stories and everyone will like them, no matter what kind of story they think they want to hear. Alright. Well, everyone's the captain of their destiny. It gives a burst of laughter. Ain't no bootstraps in the world that can save you now, but the choices you make, they change the kind of story you can tell. It ruffles its feathers, a sort of shrug. Choose wisely, or don't. Ha! Caw, caw. Honestly, I'm just obsessed with the whistling.
The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue. Unusual in this region, where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement. You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence.
I'm gonna approach that goat.
Over the hill, a scorched one-room house lies abandoned, 2 of its 4 walls in ruins. The goat rears up, front hooves curled, and stretches its wings out to their full breadth.
Hey, goatie.
The goat opens its mouth and wails. A protracted, shrill sound, indistinguishable from the cry of a human infant. It only begins to stop when you take several steps back. The winged goat doesn't follow. Instead, it lies down inside the burnt house, surrounded by portraits of a large family, glass frames stained brown from smoke.
The crows. You notice a black crow sitting on a fence post, watching you with unsettling intensity. Hey, it blurts. Hey, friend, hey! You hear about trains? It gives a throaty cackle. Locomotion! That's the life! I got some good travel trips here. You ever ride a train? It asks. With your budget, you'll need to hop on at a train yard, though. Fast and convenient, but the railroad bulls really don't like it when you ride in the empty boxcars. If you get caught, you'll get beaten. It hops and pecks at something on the ground. On the positive side, maybe you'll meet someone to trade stories with. But if you don't like the sound of that, you could hitchhike. Find a friendly car. It laughs. I feel sorry for you landlubbers. No wings, just motors. Can't even cross rivers when you want to. Only at safe crossings. Got a point there. I always do. You notice that its beak doesn't move as it speaks, but before you can tell anything else about it, off it flies. Chrono!
The hotel is an old manor house that's seen better days. A grand structure surmounted by a gambrel roof that dwarfs the house itself. It's eerily still, but for two boys at play. Each one so small and light, they barely leave tracks in the deep snow.
Let's watch him.
They seem old for their size, around 10 years old. Though their clothes are mismatched, they're perfectly identical, down to the pattern of freckles on their pale cheeks. They conduct their games in eerie silence. The clerk behind the counter is old, and your room key is worn. But night approaches, and the price is low. Just before you shut the room door, there they are, the twins, staring at you from the corridor. In the morning, as you leave, the clerk asks, "Did you sleep well?"
Not really.
Too tired to lie, you tell him about the noise outside your door, the trampling of small feet on the corridor outside, the dreams disturbed with violent and hideous images. "That's odd," he says, weak-eyed. "There are no children staying with us."
You're lying. Your kids are brats. I need to sleep somewhere. Camp. Oh, hi.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good. We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand. You know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Jokes. Ooh. That's cool. Well, let's talk about jokes. funny story. None of these are particularly funny. Maybe the bootlegging women comes closest? It's not even... Oh, lighthouse keepers! Maybe?
You know, the government told us to keep our chins up too. But I didn't believe them either. The past doesn't even feel like it happened. It feels like it's happening in every moment, in every slumber.
That's a good line. But is it snap-worthy? I like that line. I'm snapping it.
When your memories come back to you, do they clutch at you? At your heart?
Yeah.
Tell me a happy story. Something to make the world seem kind.
You know, I couldn't even really find... Oh! Here's a happy one. Don't think about your own brother, though.
I liked that one.
Yeah.
There's some hope left for you too, you know. Don't give it away too quickly. My family. They were good to me. Ma and Pa. And to Paul. And to my sister Jessie. Some days I wish I could find Jessie again and have her help me. She always liked Paul best. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
I know a lot of depressing ones. Well, that deer got ran over. Those were probably dead children. I forget what this one is, honestly. Yes! No. Yes! Yes, I do! Because those goals wouldn't be there if there wasn't the potential of...
For a moment there. Just a moment. I felt better about it all too.
Yeah.
The future's the issue, ain't it? Great War leaves us nothing to go back to. Plucking up the hope and leaving us only with the vile and the unforgiven. So anyway, tell me a funny story.
Oh,
You seem like you know
man.
a few good ones.
Don't you like disappointing, depressing ones? Maybe them? Haha, she was hung. Nope. It's gotta be this one. Haha. Ha ha ha
That
ha.
can't be true. That sounds like a Navy tale. Authority? The law?
Stop.
I'd have thought once, in the trenches. You and I, all of us, have the right to the pursuit of happiness. Can't say I've held the Declaration myself, but does it say anything about having a right to achieve happiness?
Ooh.
So anyway, tell me a funny story? You
Stop!
seem like you know a few
I
good ones.
don't know any. I'm a skeleton. He's gonna. Did you hear about the one about the couple parted by unemployment? They're so not funny. The goat? I want the goat. Ha 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 ha, it's a goat. Do you like goats?
I don't really scare at that stuff anymore.
Okay.
Mods say that we only get as much sadness as we make.
Is your ma alive?
Paul's ghost has provided me a little extra. Here's the sun. I've got to go. I'm headed up the road this way. Will our paths cross?
Not if you want funny stories.
Days come and go and the terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at it. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
He depressed. Oh, you looked clickable. No. Maybe. Well, there's something going on over there.
You hear the whippoorwill first, shrill and close. Then you see him, high up above the black streaks of wires. A lineman, fraying belt holding him to the pole. A damned bird has come to perch on a power line,
Oh.
stare hungrily at the man's soul. He's unsteady. His hands are shaky, and his body sways in the wind. You spot his tool bag next to the pole, worn and frayed, much like the man. A half-gone bottle of cheap rye pokes out of it.
No.
You leave the man to his work and his vices. The whippoorwill cheers you on. Whatever it's waiting for from the drunkard lineman,
Oh dear.
it'll eventually get. As you walk away, for a long time, you still hear its cry. Whippoorwill, whippoorwill, whippoorwill.
Did you want booze, bird? I'm gonna pretend that's it. Oops. Oops. Ah, so good. Damn it. Any buddies here? Ooh.
Sorry, friend, but I gotta ask you not to get no closer unless I can see your hands at all times.
Oh boy. That's a great first impression.
Look too clean to be one of us. But you don't look like the company sent you neither. Alright, come and share my fire spell. Don't linger. These hills is full of ears. Don't think just 'cause you can't see no one that you're safe. And I'll give you cornbread. Don't be so sure of me neither. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
I've got excitings. Exciting. I forget what the clamor story is, but we'll see.
That's supposed to be scary? Well, huh.
Exciting or
All right.
scary? Fuck your cornbread.
The past. I remember looking between my mama's ankles down the road. Every evening, she'd be whispering. Still don't know if she was counting the workers, praying about them. See anything exciting out there on the road? Mostly I just seen dogs.
Okay, you want scary. Scary. How about that fucking deer? Oh wait, no, I meant the thing.
Stranger, miners tell me sadder stuff than
I
that
meant
every day of the week.
the goat thing.
What's
Shit.
freedom? When the community decides what it's worth, setting the value of things together?
Ugh.
You mean when you don't answer to nobody? Just ain't possible, my friend. I need a laugh.
Yeah,
jokes?
maybe. I'll laugh. Well, it depends on how my protagonist uses tone. Come on, comic timing. He was drunk.
Come on, stranger. Tell me something true.
Hey!
Traps. Yeah. I tried to help dig us out. Now more like than not, I'm gonna be running forever. Keep thinking I should get mad about it. Maybe there's only so mad a man can be for so long. Sometimes fire follows the line all the way up into the hole and then whoosh, snuffs out. And there's the men with their eyes screwed shut, fingers in their ears, not knowing how to feel about the silence. Anyway, I need something to laugh about. Got any funny ones?
Ha ha ha. This kid wanted to run away with his dad. Ha ha ha.
Stranger, miners tell me
It's-
sadder
that's
stuff
not
than that
sad.
every day of the week.
Me are different people.
Family. Well, they took my big brother out of school to send him down the mine. He wasn't bigger than 10 years old. With 25
Stop,
cents,
stop.
right type of handshakes. Off he went to work.
What do you mean the right type of handshakes?
He's so big in my memory. He must have been such a small feller, come to think. Got any funny stories?
Stop
Must have
it.
a couple?
No! Stop! I've nothing funny.
You got some wit, stranger.
Really?
Death. Yeah. Little tin of morphine some of us carried down so as to die peaceful just in case. Some thought it better to die a sinner than to go with death's hand pulling the breath out of your body slow as he goes. I think God would have forgiven it. He would have had to. What do you think?
Nah.
Sun's up. I need to go across the county line.
Thanks for 3 terrible stories and 1
You
passable
look like
one.
someone who maybe ran a few times in your life, too. I can see something like that in your eye. Look, you want to get involved, find me up this way. Be specific for my safety and yours.
Yeah, okay, here are my hands.
But if you want to find me, do it. Talk again about these things.
His clothes are expensive, but unkempt. A tailored jacket stretched and warped out of its best fit by long days on the road. His thinning frame weighs down the boxcar next to yours. You got a light, friend?
Yes.
You offer a match, which bends and nearly snaps as he scratches it against the pitted iron edge of the boxcar. Thanks, he mumbles, perching one last cigarette on his lip. Don't rightly know where I'm going. You notice how deeply wrinkled his clothes are. It's as though a huge hand plucked him from a high society party and crumpled him up like a sheet of paper. Don't rightly know how I got going either. They built a railway just past Missy Hudson's estate. Damned racket ruined our soiree. Might have been a few bottles of Armagnac too many when I walked down the tracks to tell them to keep it quiet. He drags on the cigarette, but you never see him exhale.
I didn't really track that story. A tiny Mortarmouth is eagerly sharing the details of a strange tale with her brother as they loiter outside this store. The boy listens raptly, eyes growing larger, mouth hanging open like a fish. She's telling him about the fisherman and his fish calling seagulls. You try to hide your surprise. It's the story of the seagulls and the fisherman. The version the girl must have heard is embellished, to say the least. But hey, it's a good story. I'm grabbing more wine.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman come for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much behind to drag it down. Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that
Yuck.
tucked in my soul.
5 seconds of general phone dicking.
My clothes burn low and my trains run out of track. I won't be no one else to dig my hole. Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I
Yuck. Look at those pears.
they're the ones who'll bury me.
Resume.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by
edge of summer has
Ugh.
turned the ocean choppy and misanthropic, and the skies miserably gray. The boardwalk prophetess lured you into her tent with a promise to read a fortune for free. Seems like business has slowed to a crawl already. Before you lie the instruments of her profession. There's tarot cards, Rider-Waite, but also Marseille for traditionalists, rosary beads and costume jewelry, and of course, the centerpiece, a great glass globe. With practiced theatricality, she goes directly for the crystal ball, letting her eyes unfocus as though she can see a great distance into it. She brings up names, places, asks if you've known someone called John, if you have a relative in Newark. You'll latch on to what she says, and together you dance towards some insights about your romantic prospects. It's relieving to meet an honest charlatan instead of the ghouls and ghasts of the road. You might even say you're having fun, until she abruptly stops talking. Your eyes, she says, her voice suddenly drained of the bassy drama that was her stock in trade. You've met him. You've seen him, too. You carry him with you. The words that come out of your mouth are not your own. They seem unwilling or unable to form properly out of a human throat. They're more like snarls, warning noises of a vicious animal.
Sheesh.
The glass globe shatters. Your vision is hazy, and your body is not your own. You came far to get away from me, the voice lodged inside you says. But this one has a way of wandering. The fortune teller has collapsed, cowering. Consider your debt to me repaid.
Cool.
When you come to your senses, you're lying face down on the rough wood of the boardwalk, sore and weak. An empty patch of wood, cleaner than the surrounding planks, is all that remains of the fortune teller's tent.
Sheesh.
Of this land, and by and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Ah! I might be backtracking, I'm not sure. Can I? No. Alright, I'll hitchhike. Ride. It's my first hitchhiking. I'll get off here. Let me out. Ugh.
I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that
Let me out.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground.
A sign in town says a farmer is hiring for the sugarcane harvest. A bag-eyed man drives you and 10 hungry strangers out into the cane. Where he
Oh,
leads
great.
you. Everyone gets a hatchet, but no instruction. The foreman is missing for some reason. Nobody is sure what to do.
Hunger Games?
A young man in a red jacket stuffs all the hatchets in his pack. "This is stupid," he says. "I'm leaving. You can get $5 for a nice axe like this." He marches off into the cane and others follow. "Don't!" a young woman shouts after them. "It's not right." The thief
She's right.
left some hatchets behind. So you and the 3 chumps left start chopping cane. It's brutal work. None of you know what you're doing. "Keep going," the girl calls. Her hands are bleeding, and her face is bright with sweat. Soon, her cane is piled high. Sometime after noon, the truck rolls up with a boozy foreman riding shotgun. "Good work," he croaks.
Ah,
The girl wipes her blood-pinked hands on her apron to take her pay, but doesn't notice the crumpled body in the back of the truck, or the hatchets heaped beside it.
yikes.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stone.
Listen to this, blurts a boy loitering outside this grocery store. He works his way through a long and strange story about the boy whose shiftless father left him alone in the woods. "There," he finishes. "What do you think?" Holy shit, you know this story. It's the story of the boy who ran away with his father, but wildly altered. For a couple moments, you're too surprised to respond. "Seriously," the boy insists. "What do you think about that one?" It's gonna smile. He smiles sheepishly. "Thanks," he says. "I heard it from my brother." Savannah?
He sings as he works, his voice warm and soft as the late afternoon sun. The air's sweet with the tang of recently cut sugarcane. There's a practiced, almost soothing precision to the way he works. He looks up and nods hello.
Hey there.
"Making molasses," he says to your unasked question. "I sell the blackstripe in town. Farmers use it for feed. Bitter as hell." He grins.
I want to try some.
"Got some set aside." He comes back with a murky flask, waving off any offer of payment. "I ain't charging. Folks around here need what they can get. Makes a mean loaf of bread." He nods at the barrels. "I'm about done filtering. Got to boil it next. Lend a hand?"
Sure.
You help him haul the barrels over to the metal boiler. You pour in the juice and set the fire. It's hot work. He fetches water and dark bread, and you share the small meal and a smile. It's good to find another who takes joy in honest labor.
Thanks, that was very nice.
Smile as white as death. Eyes like rolling dice and easy bargains on his
I still know no funny stories.
that pain child.
Duh. A tiny motor mouth is eagerly sharing the details of a strange tale with her brother as they loiter outside this store. It's the same thing. They were in love. Story mate. Oh, I got paid. Well, good.
And the swing of guitar strings is about the only thing I feel. And if there was second chances,
A family of 9 invites you into their home for a meal. Hogs roam free in the yard. They wallow in shady patches of cool mud, not paying any mind as you pass. During supper, the hard wind puts an awful burden on the walls. The glass dishes rumble on the table, but the mother seems calm.
Can't butcher a hog in these parts without me, Ma, hollering for pig's feet.
Ghosts?
The mother raises up her shoulders into a stern posture.
I teach my children to only fear the Lord. We don't have haints, just me, Ma.
No haints. Ain't no good. Listening. Oh, that does sound way better.
hold of me, that water gon' make me whole. Going down to the river, gonna cleanse my soul. Won't heed temptation, just a walk on by.
Oops.
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here. Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with
That's
dusty
odd.
glass bottles. You cool down in the shade.
The weirdest shade.
The breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills. The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them. None seem to notice your presence.
We're gonna need some laughter.
Can't get enough. Porcelain, chrome, the rusty ones. Gotta turn those sleek faucets. Ever find me in a hardware store, I'm gonna haunt it till the cows come home.
Laughter rumbles inside neighboring bottles.
Alright, we have our first funny story ever. I need to sleep. Yeah. I need to sleep.
Faded shotgun houses sit in rows under the tall shadows of smokestacks. A worker in full uniform hollers from a porch. "Hey, traveler! Throw me inside! Got some literature here!"
Sure.
As you shut the door, the man glances out the window and draws the shades. "Landlord toss you out? Ha! Don't mind me, it's none of my business." He pries up a floorboard with a crowbar. You glance over the man's shoulder to see inside the compartment. Canned goods, a pile of leaflets, the wood stock of a rifle. He replaces the board and stands. He hands you a can of whole potatoes.
Thanks.
Then a leaflet which reads, "No evictions, no fascists, no hunger." "Headed back to the shop, but we'll have a Bible meet soon."
I travel around.
Nothing wrong with that. Careful in those boxcars, traveler, and take care of your neighbor.
Let me sleep. How do I do it? Oops. Let me sleep.
The cave is really a man-made hole breaching into an earthen mound. The man, khakis dirtied by kneeling on the rough earth, has assembled a macabre little pile of skulls to the side.
What you doing?
Readying these for sale, friend.
He wipes his hand
That
with
voice.
his pants.
This pile of skulls, clearly claimed from his enemies by an Indian chieftain, would be perfect for any cabinet of curiosities or sideshow attraction.
Pardon my chocolate bar opening. Tony's Chocolate Only. It's delicious and pairs well with Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc.
Why, these skulls belong to no one. They're just here, lying under this mound, waiting for an enterprising soul to make something of them. Isn't this what America's all about?
I don't know.
Little sunlight reaches that deep in, but you can still see the skeletal remains, their heads carelessly removed, laying neatly in their excavated resting places, each one lovingly surrounded by stone effigies, earthenware, and copper plates in the shape of winged warriors.
Honestly, if I was one of the skeletons, I think I'd rather be excavated. I don't know, instead of random cave skeleton. I'm gonna leave him be.
You sigh and walk away. Halfway back to the road, you pass by his truck. It's empty now, but the back will soon be laden with stolen remains.
Well, stolen from what? I doubt they're voluntarily in that cave.
What's the point? Men like him have already won. Might as well let them have their spoils, meaningless to them as they may be.
Keep lacerates tucked in my soul.
Well, was that a grave, though? Because that changes everything.
When my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole.
I need to sleep.
Oh, well,
Camp? Yes! Camp time. Hi.
You look good, honey. You got a life? You like a good story?
Yes.
I like to hear about people and make bets with them.
Uh-huh.
I like to hear about the weird, handsome people. Get convinced by the rich jackasses who'll play blackjack and lose into the night. Dames who are lit cigarettes burning to the end. I want to be around furious people who use me and I use them. Are you one, stranger?
I am very furious.
Come close to me. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
It's pretty good. Oh, fuck you.
I spent a night in jail once, and it was nicer than a prospect of going back to where I was born, you know, just to become what my mom always wanted me to be. When I was 12, she caught me kissing a girl once, and I felt like I would never get out of all the strands of her red-as-hell fury. I said to her, "But you said I ain't to kiss no boys, and I ain't." But she and I both knew that ain't what she meant. Hey, got any excitement?
No. I don't know what you like. Come on, that's scary. No!
I won big back in Reno and I got obsessed with luck. I was drinking absinthe at the time and smoking only darn European cigarettes that made me cough like a mule, and boy, after that win, I drank the green fairy good and smoked like a redwood bonfire. And you know what I learned? I learned to pick my tables and expect music on the job. Shit. You got any stories with a happy ending? Right now, I want a happy ending.
Family. Yeah. Can I change it to sisters?
Well, that is a sweet tale. Tell a couple more like that and you'll be a charmer like me. I thought about starting one once. Maybe just a one-night stand with one of the handsome ones, you know?
Yeah.
One of the ones that wins or buys the brandy or who tells you could come straight out of that hopper painting and they're so gentlemanly like that. And I could just never tell them what happened to my belly and have my own family. Me and my little one, and we'd gamble together and stake the world. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers
Yes.
or blood or something like that?
Murderers, blood, ghosts. Probably. I mean, I'll look around a little more. That goat has got to be good. Good goat. Goat. Good.
Just what I asked for.
Good goat.
That spooky stuff gets my heart going like a good hand sometimes do.
I need to snap that. I don't know. Sorry, snapping. Will be soon. Maybe. Alright.
Maybe in the end, it's the not trusting yourself to trust others that makes me feel hollow. Last night, I lay back and looked at the stars on top of a beat automobile, cigar between thumb and finger charmed from some hotel lobby shiny face financier. And I think, all I got from that person was this trinket. This goddamn trinket. And they got to go to a warm home and a smile and maybe a little one, blonde hair, plush little eyelashes. But me? I'm a worthless woman. No one admires no cunning. I'm just a manipulative harpy, a heartless Valkyrie with them lips and hands. Lord, if only my thrills were damn humility. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movie?
Our definition of exciting may differ. Okay. Please. No!
I remember my stepdaddy. He had a soft touch for me. A handsome, low-voiced man. Mom never did trust me around him. He taught me how to grit.
Ooh.
All you need is that light touch, he said, and look 'em in the eyes and tell 'em the truth they want. And you know, I always was good at that after. I know what it's like to have those eyes turn towards you and make you feel like everything. And then to be in the cold and dark when they turn away.
Me too!
Next time, let's up the stakes, shall we? Why don't we spend some time with bourbon and 5-card stud? You bring the bourbon, of course. And when the moon's fuller, I might let you in on some secrets on life. Have you any?
Okay.
And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who.
His smile lights up the room, or rather the cab of the locomotive. Folks gather round as he holds the pull cord. He's a showman through and through.
You'll want to cover your ears now for this next part.
Okay.
Sure doesn't help much. Engineer pulls that chain and the whistle blasts inside your skull. He just smiles through it all. Man must be half deaf.
Darnation!
A round of applause erupts from the small crowd. He passes out bubble gum to the shell-shocked kids, half of them in awe, half in tears.
Remember now who gets you there on the advertised. Casey Jones.
Everyone's all talk as they head back to their seats. That engineer sure is handsome. Gosh. And that whistle sounded just like a whippoorwill, didn't it? Ain't this the way to travel?
Oh my God, it's Ron Miller. How's my health? Oh, I'm all good. I'm good.
You've enjoyed a break on the beach, staring off the edge of the world. But the sun is starting to go down, and the breeze is getting stronger. As you're about to stand, a man plunks down near you. He sits a polite distance off, but looks at you expectantly.
Hi there.
He smiles weakly. I just got fired. First Spanish-American radio host in the state, and they fired me. They needed to make cuts, I get that, but I'm twice the... He trails off. I don't know what I'm going to tell my wife.
That
I
blows.
could try the docks, but there's already more men than jobs, and I could barely support the family on what they pay. He hangs his head. And my boy, I can't bring myself to tell him. I don't know what to do. He calms as the sun drops below the horizon. An expanse of darkness is ahead of you. Turning back to the lights of the city reminds you that the world hasn't gone away. After a long silence, he speaks. It's never going to get better, is it? It takes you a moment to notice his sobbing over the noise of the waves. I've got to tell them, haven't I? I'll go to the port in the morning and see if they'll take me. You can no longer make him out in the dark, but his hand touches your shoulder as he leaves.
They're the ones who'll bury me.
Someone heard one of my stories. Oh. I'm gonna leave him with the tail.
Tale, my vagrant song. Yeah, this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Oops. The Devil of Leeds. Someone should do a picture about it.
Can be found.
Oops. Shit. Inventory? No. Man. Really? You're just northeast, eh?
I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me. I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land. And by I'll see them fall.
It was already pretty exciting, I'd say.
Night come down for to take me hand in hand. This will be my tale, my vagrant song.
All right, buddy.
I always knew you'd come loping back my way and catch me checking for marks.
Did you?
How you been, traveler? I'm afraid
Fine.
I got myself in some damn tight spots since we last made bets with each other. It's the way of the world.
Thanks for your patience. Whoops.
You give too much, someone gonna take away too much. Just don't mind me if I seem like I'm wincing. It ain't you. It's just love making its way to hell. Come over. Come sit. You got any stories with a happy ending? Right now, I want a happy ending.
I think I already shared the brother story. Oh, yep. So it won't let me. Sure? Yeah.
Well, that is a sweet tale. Tell a couple more like that and you'll be a charmer like me. Well, maybe last time we met, Joy was not answering to anyone. But now I guess I think it's a man who can see when he's kicking the sick pup already.
Oh dear.
I mean, at some point I thought maybe the worldly heights were that man's hands. Fingertips with calluses from cut decks and as sensitive as could feel a dog ear. Oh, and he could make me sing like nothing. He could squeeze every noise out of me. Ms. Dupree, he'd say, you've got a voice like no one ever been kind to you. And I thought he was the wisest man for looking at me from the outside. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Yeah. Open your eye.
Well, they should let you make the movies, honey. Oh, this? Oh, I'm sorry, it's nothing. I guess it's been 7 nights now. Still hurts. Sometimes I shift my ribs and I think I feel something move wrong. Well, it'll heal by itself. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
The sugarcane one's scary.
I guess when you've been hurt like that, you wonder what the other person were thinking when they... This boy, though, you were patient and fine looking. When I saw him with my baseball bag, I knew. As I ran up to snatch it back, I knew. And when he hit me, it hurt 2 kinds. It hurt 2 kinds. And the kind without the blood hurts the worst.
Yes, it does.
Because the body heals and the mind don't. Hey, got any...
No. Nah.
Honey, thrills
Good.
is the stuff I live on. That one will keep me going. Of course I can't go to the cops. What would the cops do but arrest me, a known grifter gal? And even if I try to say the boy who did this to me were ripping off casinos, you think they wouldn't just pin that on me? Damn you, stranger. Don't ever go to cops with a man in mind. They'll ignore you for the numbers. Numbers are a girl's enemy.
Oh.
Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Probably not. This is gonna be so boring.
Well.
Really?
They should let you make the movies, honey.
That wasn't exciting. exciting at all.
You walk by one place and suddenly you got a jarring feeling of deja vu. That feeling like you've been in circles but no one remembers you or knows you're there. That's what life feels like. Like walking in circles like roulette. And sometimes it's your number and most of the time it ain't, and you gotta store that energy, I learned. Store it for when you win. And the night's ending. I see a lot more of these sunrises than I ought to, I think. But it's beautiful. So it can't be all harm, can it?
Right.
I was recently spending a lot of time out late with that boy, which I regret. But what can you do? Nothing but move on, and hold some scorn for yourself in your pocket till you learn your lesson. Keep an eye out if you find yourself nearby, all right? We can talk again, sweetheart, and share another bottle, and maybe play some cards.
Be my tale, my vagrant song.
Toby's picky. Eek.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my wearied back. I'm gonna keep lacerates tucked in my soul.
Electric lamps stipple the cotton field before you with an orange light, moving like a group of lethargic fireflies. From the field, the voices of the workers reach you in a soulful, united song. You're gently lulled to sleep as the song floats over you. And oh, Lordy, pick a bale of cotton. And oh, Lordy, pick a bale a day. You're pulled out of your slumber by a woman's pained scream and a collection of shouts rising from the field. The woman's screams taper off, soon replaced by the raw cries of an infant. Applause briefly fills the night, eventually fading back into song. Oh, Lordy, you wake up to the gentle crescendo of the worker's song, unsure if it ever ceased at all.
Woman gives birth.
And by I'll see them far and long. When the night comes down for the
No.
and this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
Oops.
My vagrant
No
song.
fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves, and now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware? A wood board, bleached white. Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money.
Walter was silent.
You're already quiet, so maybe it's silly. But you instill that silence with intent. What else could someone do? A sparrow calls. Seems birds don't have much respect for the dead. You notice the grave marker isn't dug into the ground, just propped up on a tree. Looks nicer now, but unmoored as these markers are. This grave, in front of this tree, does this memorial even belong to it?
Big ol' shrug.
Leave much to find that can be found.
Oh, I should just listen.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep the lacerates
Multiple times.
tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole.
Excusez-moi.
Beckoning you over, the woman shows you a letter, beautifully typeset on thick vellum. You're struck by the scent of a fancy department store. She points on the parchment to the address.
This address, you know?
Her accent is very thick. You are dismayed to read the first paragraph. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. And the address under the monogram in the letterhead.
Oh boy.
12345 Road Street, Anytown, USA. The woman blinks, hopefully, leaning close over your shoulder.
Yes? You know this place?
She asks. Poor woman. She's been tricked.
Let her down, he's 8.
This place doesn't exist, you try to explain as loud and slowly as possible.
Of course she exists.
The woman snorts, thumping a fist to her chest. You struggle to make yourself understood, but the poor woman whisks the letter away and stomps down the street. Ah well, c'est la vie.
Good luck, lady.
He's small for his age. Boy of 13 or so, sitting on an upturned bucket by the side of a tiny wedge of farmland. The dog, as though by contrast, is massive, an enormous yellow-brown mutt. He's called Rover, the boy explains.
Paul says he can't come with us.
Where?
West.
You notice the Model A truck on the yard, piled high with furnishings and trunks and bags and knots of rope to tie it all together. And upon all that, too, yet more dust and grit.
Paul says it has to be better.
Why not?
With one toe tip, he scratches a parabola on the dead, dry ground.
Paul says we can't afford to feed Rover no more.
You can't tell where the blonde of the dog's coat ends. and the omnipresent dust begins. Same goes for the boy's hair.
Will you take him?
Well, I don't... This is really ambiguous phrasing.
Rover follows you eagerly after you feed him the tiniest sliver of jerky. But a few hours later, he snaps to attention, as though hearing some distant noise your ears can't catch. The last you see of him are the markings left by his dirty pelt on the leaves of the underbrush.
Poor bastard.
Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm cold and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me.
We need a sixth.
She told you, beckoning from the steps of a great dark mansion. And just like that, you found yourself sitting with strangers around a velvet-draped table. Her voice is reedy and high, modulated by the tight collar of her Victorian dress.
Join hands, everyone.
Let's hold hands.
Your host keeps her eyes closed as she beseeches the spirits of the dead. But everyone else around the table lets one lingering, awkward glance bounce around between them. You sense they're just about done humoring her when it happens. A deep, nasty thump beneath the table. The whole table starts to shake, threatening to lift right off the ground. And then, the staid candle flames start flickering like mad, casting ghastly shadows on the walls. And then, a viciously cold wind cuts through the parlor like sharpened ice.
Keep holding.
The damned candles are dancing in midair around you now, singeing a hair here and there off the coiffed heads of these well-heeled guests. You notice your host across the table has her eyes open wider than they should go. A rivulet of blood dripping from her nose.
Keep holding.
When you come to your senses, sunrise has begun to creep in. The parlor is empty but for you and the woman in the old-fashioned dress, who slumped dejectedly over the table.
He didn't show up. All that sound and fury, and no sign of his spirit.
Is that a camp? Sure. Hey,
I take a look at you. Figure we're heading to the same place. You've been walking a long time, same as me, trying to find where you fit.
Grab more wine. Oops. Okay.
You ever wonder if that place don't exist? No shame in it, I do. Plenty of time I wonder if I just walk forever. You start to wonder, how did I get here? When you're alone, all you had is all this time. Time to trace the lines back to where things started. So, tell me a sad story.
I've got a ton of those.
Sad and true, okay? Body and soul. Well, as far as love stories, I mostly love work. Working the land felt natural, felt good. It was the work itself, the labor, the sweat. And knowing that I could point at it and say, that's mine. You got any exciting stories? Anything that'll get my heart going?
Probably the seance. Gotta be this one, right?
Trying
Hey!
to scare me. Ain't working. I've felt lucky before. When I joined the Union, it seemed like I was riding on the backs of angels. Like it was a real opportunity. Like God was on my side. So how about a scary tale? We're here at a campfire in the dead of night after all.
Well, god damn it. Oh. Wait, that weird... Oh, but it needs to be true? Maybe it doesn't need to be true.
Damn, that's a good one.
Thanks.
There's some sadness out there. Things get took from you. You realize that things get took from you. You ain't never owned them in the first place. It's a dark place. But anyway, you know any good true tragedies? I feel like one of those tonight.
A true tragedy. Well... Okay, either the dog or... let's go with this lady. Well,
if
shut
you
up.
say so. Must be nice to have a home. Under crop lean, I didn't really own shit. If you excuse my language.
Well, I won't.
You buy things to pay off at the end of the season. Soon you realize even your own bed ain't a guarantee. But anyway, you,
Well, how do you feel about dogs?
I hear you.
Okay, good. God.
No one would say my father was free. Sometimes I think about whether my father would find my life all that different from his. Here's the sun. I got to get going. My route goes up this way, but I sure did enjoy talking to you. It's probably the kind of story you've heard a million times. Down on your luck, need work, take whatever you can get. How about you? Does my life sound familiar?
Now I got a crater in my chest. This hole ain't gonna heal. And the sting of guitar strings is about the only thing I feel. And if there was second chances, I don't know which way I would choose. Oh, yeah, the thing about down is I need this soul sucker blues.
What? The seance was already pretty fucking strange.
Oh, that current gonna take firm hold of me. That water gonna make me whole.
You rest in a field where a well-dressed stranger talks your ear off on all manner of subjects. The weather, fireflies in summer, how combine harvesters work. After a while, the mood shifts.
Heard my death bones this morning.
Tell me more.
Death bones. Heard 'em rattle like clank, clink, clank. More startling than wind chimes in a tornado.
He plucks dry grass and chews on a piece.
Ain't much time left now.
Well, you seem
That don't
young.
matter. I'm fine. Got my savior waiting at the pearly gates.
The man shifts uncomfortably.
At least I do as of this afternoon, I hope. Nearly knocked the pastor's door down earlier. Sure was good to meet you.
The man pauses, rubs his chin in contemplation.
Don't let the bedbugs bite.
He walks off slow. After his silhouette becomes small in the horizon, but before he vanishes, you see him collapse to the ground.
Poor bastard.
We gon' tear it down. Yeah, they try to throw a wall up. We gon' tear it down. We gonna drive the hurting hearted gal with a wild and righteous sound when they try to throw a wall up.
New Orleans? I want to go to Minneapolis.
Lenny's Antiques has a heady smell. Polish, maybe, or incense. Sunlight doesn't penetrate the blacked-out windows. The place is crammed with furniture and curios. The woman behind the counter beckons you over.
I know the look of you. I know what you're here for.
And what's that?
She sets a tray on the counter. On it sits a hodgepodge of stitched leather pouches of various shapes and sizes. Some have neck or wrist straps looped through them. She waves a hand across the display.
Good luck charms. I don't want your money. You got something better.
She licks her lips, holds out a flat palm.
Fine, take my blood.
Her knife is fast. She slices a thin line across your palm, then snatches your hand and squeezes. She catches the welling blood in a murky glass vial. Your vision flickers, and as you blink, the place lightens. Sunlight streams through the windows. You are alone. As you reach the door, a man calls after you.
Is this yours?
His name badge reads Lenny.
Lenny.
He's holding up a leather pouch by its strap. You take it and hurry out of the shop.
Well, is my health fine? Give me I want the blue plate special. Okay, fine, that did nothing for me, fine. Let's spend some money. Yes. I'll hitchhike. Hey. Let me. Stop. Man, this is barren. Although, what's that?
I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can be found. I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep lacerites tucked in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no...
Oh.
The steady spin of the lasso is hypnotic.
Help me out here.
says the man.
I've been hunting this horse a long
Hunting
time.
it?
Extra pair of hands, make sure she doesn't get the better of me. She belonged to someone who wronged me. Butch slipped out of this world before I could square things between us, but damn did he love this horse. He grins. If she bucks real hard, haul on the rope. Buy me some time. He's dead. His old crew, though, they're still around. They'll bust a gasket when they see me ride in on his horse.
His hand hovers over the handle of his knife.
And then,
He grins.
let's get this done.
Let the fucking horse live.
He ignores you or doesn't hear. The lasso loops around the horse's neck on the first throw. The rope's in your hands before you realize he's put it there. He slips smoothly onto her back and grips with his knees. She fights, though, bucking hard enough to jar him loose.
Get out of here.
He slips, tumbling into the dirt, and narrowly avoids being trampled under her heels. Man rolls to his feet, pulling the knife.
Fucking hell! You stupid or just got a death wish?
It's time to run.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Pues yo no tengo amigo más que el viento y el mar. Son los que me enterrarán, que me entierran.
Duh.
Pues voy a tirar estas piedras sobre las aguas y más tardar llegarán fuera de aquí.
Oh, am I getting sleepy?
Que cuando caiga la noche llega por mí y me toma con él. Este será mi cuento, mi canción del vagón. Mi canción del vagón.
Motor's running, but nobody's driving. Flies buzz the windshield. Beyond the van is a driveway, paved through cut green grass to the top of the hill. There you see a squat, rustic mansion. The sun turns your back damp.
If the motor's running, that's curious. I don't want someone staring at me while I walk to the house. I'm gonna look at the car.
It's a newer model. You don't recognize it. Inside, you see food wrappers, bottles of beer, and half a discarded cheeseburger. You come around to the windshield, where something incomprehensible is written in big, sloppy letters, backwards, as to appear correctly in a mirror.
Tell me more.
In lipstick, the word piggies. You glance back and forth between the message and your own reflection in the windshield. And on the latter glance, you see a large figure hovering behind you. Then you feel something hard. Then you see nothing.
Yeah. Oh.
You awake, face down in the crisp green grass. The back of your neck tender with sunburn. Your head still
Oh,
tender
dear.
from the blow. The van is gone. Tracks carved in the dirt lead back toward the road. You check your skull. Still intact. Your wallet, however, is less so.
White rider ain't fixing for to join
I'm gonna panhandle for once. Thanks. Well, hooray. Apple juice. Hey. Whoops. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that.
Little remains of the Alamo. Just a chapel and some barracks. The inside of the chapel seems off. Like a space that is both ruin and restored relic. Unsure if it should crumble or sparkle. The rumbling of cars outside is undeterred by the shaky adobe walls. You come across a well, a squat square made of stone, hidden beneath a large, crooked oak tree. And on it sits a dejected man, eyes downcast, face hidden by a broad-brimmed hat, and clothes so thickly coated with dust that you can't make out their style or color. He looks up at you, and you get a better look at his face. Sun-beaten, several days unshaven, and body. Though he smells strongly of black powder, a single sharp hole punctures his torso. From there, blood oozes down, and smoke wafts up. No. It's too late for me. He bats your hand away. His is clammy and cold, even in the hot, dry air. It's a long time before he musters the strength to say anything more. I marched out here following some rich man from New Orleans. 2 weeks trapped in this damn fort. Then it was just so sudden. Not even an hour. He seems suddenly distressed. Friend, how long has it been? Why am I still here? But your response doesn't come before he's collapsed into the ground.
Sheesh. Alright, I think it's about time for me to stop here, but I need to see if it autosaves. I mean, I imagine so? Uh-oh. Alright, please have autosaved. We'll see. Woo! Yes. I hope you were.